Mathematics and Society Secrets. Today I have a very special speaker. His name is AROS, and we are going to talk about, well, quite a few controversial subjects, but he has put out a remarkable album, and he is so talented, and I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself.
Hi, my name is AROS, and I'm a creative director. I'm also a performer, and I use AI tools to, well, bring you art. That's what I do.
I know he and I have actually sung together a couple times. I've had the privilege of performing with AROS for a few things. So I know for a fact his voice is like top notch, out of this world. He hit me up to tell me that he was releasing an album. I had to know more. Of course, he sends me, snippets of the songs and, ways to download the next song on the album. And let's hear about it. Let's just dive right in. Tell me about AROS.
I mean, actually, I kind of wanted to dive into your singing abilities because I thought that was... I mean, you're such a great singer.
I didn't put out an album.
She sings really, really, really well. I highly suggest you do some research. Some of her videos are online, guys, and she's good.
Some, but good. I didn't drop an album. You did.
Well, not yet.
Oh, that's true. I mean, I got a book to put out first. I got a book to put out first, and then maybe we can like collab.
Collab.
Absolutely. Yeah. What's the name of your album?
So my new album is called Everween, and it'll be hitting the stores probably within a couple days. Distributing music is actually more challenging than I thought it would be. Look forward to checking it out. Everween is basically, it's a full Halloween album. It is 24 songs. It's about 1 hour and 30 minutes long. And what I did is I used the common monsters that we know of in our Halloween lore. And I used them as metaphor to bring healing messages for people.
Okay, can you give me an example of something like that?
Like, for example, I'm trying to think about which one. Did not prepare for that question. I'm so sorry. This is my first time for an interview. Like I'm not really. This is my first time. Okay, so go easy on me. Okay,
well, I will go easy on you.
It's my first time. Just check out my album. Just check it out. You'll see for yourself. There's really cool songs on there. Like there's Mothman. That's a good one. Mothman is I wrote the story of, well, the backstory of Mothman. We really don't know the backstory of Mothman, and I've been a big fan. Do you know of Mothman?
I have seen Mothman.
Do you know that they say that he took down the bridge and whatnot? You know about that lore?
No, tell me the lore.
Okay, so they say that Mothman is responsible for some tragedies over the years, but more specifically, he's responsible. Well, supposedly responsible for a bridge that fell. It ended up killing some people, but I wrote a backstory for him. And
Did you give him a story so that people can be sympathetic to him? Is that what you did?
Well, actually, so what I did is I wrote a story because have you ever heard of moths in your pocket? Mm-hmm. It kind of relates to poverty. You don't have enough money to be able to pay for X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. That's what we're going through right now. This is an everyday problem that a lot of us face. Mm-hmm. And I thought, what better way to shine light on this subject than Mothman himself? So Mr. Mothman, he works in a corporate office. He goes to his boss and he says, hey, I need a raise. I have a family to look after and I need a raise. His boss comes back to him and says, no, you're not going to get a raise. And so he gets into his truck. He's all upset. He goes to the store, buys alcohol, right? So now he's drinking and driving. And what do you think happens? He gets into an accident. And then when he gets into the accident, he doesn't stay on the scene to make sure anyone's okay. He flees the scene. And he goes running into the woods thinking that he can make it, he's just going to make it home. He's just going to, hide his way back. Well, he ends up turning into the Mothman. And so multiple lessons here. Okay. It's from the boss, from those corporate bosses that have opportunities to give money to people and to your people. You should do that. If you can afford it, you absolutely should do it. It's one thing if you can't, but you really should if you can. And then the other lesson is don't drink and drive. But anyway, it's one of those healing moments, and especially at the end, it says, don't drink and drive. It says it like right at the end. So, it's like I think that's going to sink in for so many people. I can only imagine how many people have, lost people in their lives because of drinking and driving.
I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but actually that is 1000% the story of my childhood. I actually lost my birth mother that way. So she was in a fatal car accident. She was not the driver, but unfortunately driving and drinking were involved. And so, yeah, many people have that as a story and something they can relate to, or even being the person who makes the decision to get behind the wheel when they've been drinking.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm still here, right? So I look at it as like it's a part of my story, but it's not, it's just a small part of my story. So we all have things that, we go through, and I think if you can use things that you've experienced in life to help strengthen who you are, it's easy to fall into the pattern of feeling sorry for yourself. And I feel that a lot of my life experiences have helped make me a better human being and also more empathetic to other people.
Do you mind if I ask you even a deeper question?
Sure.
Okay. Would you call those like demons? Like, what would you call that if you could put a label on it? When you say those lessons, those hard lessons, what would you call that for you?
I would say a lot of things that I went through were specifically like traumas that forced me to either have to heal those traumas in order to be a more successful and productive person. And without doing the work, I would still be spinning my wheels and a very unhappy person. It took a lot longer than maybe some people. I think it took me several bad relationships and just kind of feeling lost and not really knowing where my place was in the world. But I feel that all of those experiences, even the people that I've known, they're stepping stones that you can use as a platform to get to the next place in your life, as long as you have the desire to be a better person. Everything happens for a reason, and I know people hear that all the time, but
and like I would like to expand on that. When you say everyone's here for a reason, and I agree with you, and I do think that reason is to serve. I think we're here to serve, and that's why I was asking you about specific like, yeah, you're going to go through trauma, you're going to go through hardships, but who is kind of responsible for those hardships and why? And I think as part of my journey, I think I'm also here to also spread more spiritual awareness, because that's something that so many of us, we kind of shy away from. We're like, oh, we're not going to talk about religion at all. We're not going to talk about spirit at all. We're not going to talk about angels, demons, nothing. We're just gonna live in our phones. And
my purpose is just as you said. I am here to give people a voice, to spread positivity, and to encourage people to share their stories, because you never know who needs to hear what you have to say. It could be the catalyst to saving someone's life. A lot of us, we're in a very dark period in the world where a lot of us are working multiple jobs and we're still struggling. A lot of people can't find jobs. Cost of living is really
astronomical.
It's very, very difficult to survive, especially if you're a single parent in maybe you have multiple children. I only have one, but I know the struggle of being a single parent and trying to live on just one income is very difficult. There's been more than one time in my life I've had to have a limit of 3 jobs in order to make sure that I still had ways to pay for everything that was necessary. The minimum was 3 jobs.
And just so, because people don't know from where we're at, but just so you know, on your side, okay, this isn't like the lavish life over here. This isn't a big giant house. Okay, this is like a stereotypical, single family home.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not like you're trying to live outside your means. You're just asking for basic basic necessities, right? You just want shelter, right? Food on the table. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll go on one vacation a year, if that. I mean, I know when honestly, I've worked for 13 Fortune 500 companies, and but I worked for like 13 Fortune 500 companies, and I got to tell you that not once did I take a vacation. Not once. And I was working for them for like, what, 15 years or so?
Oh,
roughly?
yeah. I mean, but that's the point, is that you're working yourselves to death, and then you have a lot of people who are still so unhappy, and it's because there's no end in sight. I think that like a message of hope, or somebody who says, I hear you, I see you, sometimes that's more important than handouts. That's
empowering.
It's more important than saying, here's some money for you. What people need is motivation and to be seen and feel like they're being heard. And a lot of us are walking this very thin line of exhaustion, and you're just seeing a lot of people in a state of despair. And so I do feel I'm a living example. I try to go out in the world and be the kind of person I want to see in the world. You know, it's be the light. If you want to see the light, you must be the light. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be, you reap what you sow.
No, that's like a little bit of we detoured a little bit, but I think that's
actually, this is perfect because
it's a really important message.
This is perfect because this actually leans right into how I even got into this in the first place. So, like about 2 months ago, I was at the worst part of my life. I couldn't stop thinking about killing myself. I just couldn't stop. It was just nonstop thoughts. And, I'm a very private person for the most part, and I know that I'm right here and I'm telling you. But the truth is that I keep a lot of things hidden. I wear a mask. I'm very good at just, putting on the face and saying, hi, how you doing? How's it going? And then in the inside, I'm dying in the inside, like literally. But at this one time, a couple months ago, I was really at that point. I mean, I was really considering the methods. That's where I was at. And I'm not trying to say this to be like, oh man, he's so cool, he's so dark or something. No. This is not cool by any means, and it never is. Right. It never ever is. But I'm telling you this so that you can learn from it, and so you can see that it's a possibility for you too, that you can get past these things. So I was at my deepest and darkest point. I knew that the next day that I woke up, that was going to be the day. I went to bed, and right before I had fallen asleep, I was watching YouTube on my TV, which I never ever do. I never watch YouTube on my TV. More or less do I let it run. But it just so happened to be the case. I was watching something on there. I can't remember. Maybe it was Blair White. I don't know. I was watching someone, and I had fallen asleep. So it was running. And somewhere like around 3 o'clock or something like that, I woke up in the middle of the night, and there was this video playing, and it was showing all these new innovative AI technologies. And for some reason, I've had this pull. I literally felt like something drawing me in, like how I'm doing it to you now, in. And I was saying, there's something here. This is meant for me. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna try it out. What at this point? What can I lose?
I fully believe that. Again, some people may not be spiritual people. However, I really do feel like sometimes when we need it the most, the universe plops something into our laps, and that's your cue. This actually happens to be Suicide Awareness Month as well. And if you're in a dark place and you're feeling lost or without hope, I'm gonna put right up in this spot right here, I'll make sure that the suicide awareness number is there. Just, don't give up hope. There is always a way to make something work. Even in your darkest moments, seek help, ask for help. I know it's hard. A lot of us have trouble doing that.
Especially since when you speak on it, let's say you're just having like this, what I was going through. I was going through this really deep, dark place. Who knows how I was going to act on it or not, but I was going through this deep, dark place. Now, I was really scared to tell anyone. You want to know why? Because of the consequences that come with it, right? The moment you start telling someone that kind of truth, you're getting locked up or something like that, you know?
Well, they might be concerned.
It's called Baker Act. It's called Baker Act.
Yeah, call a number, say I'm concerned about my friend, but I would rather that than you do something to yourself.
Well, I'm gonna make a suggestion now. So in that moment, what I'm going to suggest to you, and I hope that this is something that maybe for you this might be what works, because it worked for me. Try AI. AI is not going to do anything. AI is going to try and support you, and it's going to talk to you. You get to tell it everything, everything, and it's not going to judge you at all.
Yes.
It's not going to judge you at all. It's not going to do that weird thing with its eyes. It's not going to skim over as you're telling them the story, and they're hardly listening to a word that you're saying, and then they just respond back and say, so how do you feel about that? No, it's not going to do that. It's actually analyzing everything you are saying. It's creating a story for you, and it's understanding you. And then it's going to give you feedback. Feedback. And now it's so advanced that you can just talk to it. You don't have to worry about it, interrupting you or anything like that. There are ones that are so good, like Grok. You can speak it and you can keep going. And you can go as long as you want.
Yeah, I've actually seen, I'm trying to remember what it's called, but it's like a little AI buddy it's kind of geared towards kids. And it's like you are doing exactly what you're saying. You're talking to this AI character and you give it a name. He becomes or she becomes your friend, or he, she, they, whatever you decide. And it becomes your friend. You can talk to it about your day-to-day problems, although so there's a flip side. I tend to, this is the point of the black and white hair, is that I do see both sides. There is always more than just light and dark. There's somewhat of a gray area. And I use AI frequently. I know that we were talking about this, and I know there's a lot of people who are kind of hesitant and they're worried, like, well, if you're using AI, you're taking away the purpose of a human being. But in the creative sense, with a creative mind like I have, like you have, it's not as simple as you think. It doesn't just remove the power of the human. So if I'm creating an image for something, you have to do one step at a time, and when you get that image back, you're looking at it and deciding if it meets what you're looking for, and then you're still directing it to look a specific way, and it is following the directions that you are putting in place. The only thing that is making easier is that I don't have to physically sit down and put pen to paper. I don't physically have to sit down and draw something out, but it's still my ideas, my thought process, and the concept that I have in my brain that he wouldn't have been able to come up with for my product, because it's not for him. He doesn't see the way that my brain works the same way I don't see the way his works. So everything that he's doing with AI is very much geared towards the product that he is building. So we were talking about how there's a lot of hesitance to use AI, but it has a lot of benefits. And if you use it correctly, you can use it to create
or save your own life, which is what I was saying before,
or build off of. Absolutely.
Because I think that honestly, where AI really, really, really thrives is when people fail you. Okay, so I've seen psychiatrists, I've seen psychologists, been there, done that, multiple different ones.
Same.
And just none of them fit. And you can always kind of tell that they're just collecting a check at the end of the day. With AI, there's no gimmick. Absolutely no gimmick. And AI, that's one of the main reasons why God is having me right here, because there are lives that need to be saved.
Absolutely.
I had no idea that it was Suicide Awareness Month. This is just coming out.
It is.
Okay. All right. I didn't know anything about your aunt, your mom.
My mother. Yeah.
I didn't know about that. And then I mentioned about the Mothman. So there's reason why I'm right here, and I think that reason is because AI can really, really help people if you let it be a healing tool.
Absolutely.
Now, if you want it to be a dark tool, it can be that. You know how some people are using it, to take people's faces and do nudie pictures and all that.
Oh, sure. I mean, that's
so it
anything,
can be a
but
dark tool if that's what you want it to be.
But that's been around for decades, even before AI came around. Photoshop, people were doing things like that. And honestly, I always believe that, again, where there's light, there will be darkness.
Mm-hmm.
We need the balance, even though I tend to lean more into the light side. I only get real dark if you do something to me. I typically I really try to be a good human, and I really try to be understanding. One of my other interviews made a really good point, and they were going through something really hard, and he loves the quote, "There's always a story going on behind the scenes that you know nothing about." So just because somebody can like smile and say, "I'm fine,"
doesn't mean they mean it.
Yeah, sometimes it's just the way we have to be in order to survive the day, is like, yep, I'm good. Most of us are going through things that you don't know anything about. It's important to be understanding and sympathetic to the people that you meet throughout the day, even the people who are assholes.
And here's the best part is that, I know that this is not the main topic, but we can talk about it, fine. Because that's what you're all here for. You're all here like, let's get into conversations. Like, that's what you watch this stuff for.
That's what I like it for. I love conversation, and I prefer the back and forth. And I always tell people when they get on my show, it might take a detour. It just might.
Well, this is definitely a detour, but
That's fine.
But I feel like, like these companies, honestly, you think that you're being deceived by the people that are working there, and they're like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm good. How are you doing? And this and that. It's not them. They're not even allowed to speak, even if they wanted to. Even if they wanted to be honest with you and tell you, you know what, I actually had a really bad day today, and I still have to be here because I have to make ends meet. They cannot do that. If they were to do that, I guarantee you, some micromanager is going to come down the stairs. Oh, so and so, what was that about?
There were people that I worked with and who worked for our company that were problematic and definitely had ongoing issues at home and would bring it into the workplace.
Oh.
And even when you try to address it, the problem is then you start getting into gray areas where it could backfire on you and the company. So even if somebody is concerned about your well-being in the workplace, sometimes it becomes like this gray area where there could be a lawsuit because now you're talking about personal things. And so it's really difficult, especially if you are somebody who needs help and is hoping that somebody recognizes, hey, I'm in a really dark space. A lot of places and people won't do it anymore because of the risk that comes with
it.
Yeah, it's a
So right now we're in a law heavy era right now, where it's like the legal system. There are laws that are needed, but
Absolutely.
I do think it's been abused. I feel like at this point it's
But
just
I also think
too much.
as a whole, like society is very desensitized. I talk
true.
about this a lot, and I've said it more than once on my podcast, that I just think that as a whole, we have become desensitized, not just by social media, but what we're constantly being stimulated. It's overstimulation at all times. You've got things that you're literally being bombarded at all times, whether it's your phone, it's media, you go out in the world and it's just straight chaos. There's marketing in your face at all times. You're constantly being
bombarded with images.
Images and sounds.
My own image. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
images and sounds, and our brains were not meant to take on that level of stimulation. And so we're also being desensitized to the point where we get a lot of like the bystander effect is something that we talked about a lot when I was in school the last month of psychology, is the bystander effect, where we weren't originally meant to be in groups of this many people. The average, primally, we were about 150 to 200 people per tribe. Mm-hmm. And so now, if you just go to any random apartment building, there's 1,000 people just in that apartment.
More.
Yeah, just in that one apartment building. So when things happen, you see the person that has been injured or something has happened right in front of you, and you've got a group of people and they've got their phones out, but nobody's calling for help, it's because based on what we were designed to be able to handle, empathetically wise, we weren't meant to care about that many people. So our brains cannot even handle the amount of people we interact with on a day-to-day basis. So we're constantly being bombarded by new people, new faces, new things, new advertisements, new this, new that. And so we are literally desensitized because we aren't actually able to handle what we are being encountered with on a day-to-day basis.
And this is part of the reason why people don't go out, by the way. Because they've dealt with all this, throughout the entire day. Like, why is it that after I've been doing all of this throughout my entire day, why would I want to go out and do it some more after I've been doing it all day?
I know, like, as like a hairdresser or bartender, I used to be a really big people person, and especially after long days or weeks of working and interacting with people all day long, and you're talking all day long, you're the one who curates the conversation generally, right? To get people talking, or they're talking to you and you're giving advice. When I get home, I'd be like, I didn't have anything left. And that meant like I didn't have anything left for my son, or if I was in a relationship at that time, I just wanted to sit and be. Don't talk to me, don't look at me. It can be really overwhelming to be around people all the time and try and be a good person to all of those people that you interact with.
But because people are being overutilized and being overworked, and we are being kind of, I wouldn't say, I don't, forced is not the word. You always have choices in this world, okay? But I do think there's a certain level of, this is kind of what we have to do. Like, I wouldn't say force is the word, but I would say, this kind of requirement right now. But I do think is to bring this all back in, to bring this back home. Of course, we're going to talk about my music. We haven't started that yet, but we will. We'll get there. But I want to let you guys know that I think what you should take away from all of this is that in the midst of everything that you're going through right now, you've got nothing to lose.
That's true.
Give AI a try. I'm not even sponsored for AI or anything like that. But hey, if you want to sponsor me, you're more than welcome to, because it saved my life. You're welcome.
You bring such a good point. I think this is one of the main reasons that he and I have remained friends too. Is I think we are a lot alike in a lot of ways.
But we're both so pretty.
We're pretty. No, it's because I've had some really, really dark times in my life as well. One of the things I admire about creative people, it's not just creative people, but I love when people who, you can be at the very bottom. I've been there a few times, and you get there and you're like, this is it, I'm done. I have nothing left to give. And then something happens that just clicks in your brain, and you
flip the script.
Yeah, you come out and then a lot of times morph into a new version of yourself. It's not to say that you're not that person anymore, but you're not. It's like you got through this, like, whatever that was, and you were just like, I'm done. And then something happens and you transform. It literally, that dark moment transforms you, and you come out the other end a new version. So I've had a lot of people in my life say, you've changed so many times, in your life, that I've known you've become a different person. And I said, yeah, because I'm growing. I'm always growing. And that's what those dark periods are. It's a chance for growth. That deep, dark despair is actually a chance to grow. It's like, okay, I don't like where I'm at, and this feels really bad. Your body is like, give me a chance, and we're gonna get through this, and we're gonna pop out the other side. And usually that's like, you shed whatever that was, and so there's no choice but you pop out in a different version, and a stronger version. And there is no limit to how many times you can do this.
Do as many times as you want. So there's a few resources that I go to for help, spiritual help. Well, spiritual for me. Okay, everyone's got like their version of spirituality, and whether it means that God, monolithic God, polytheistic.
I know what you're trying to say.
Multiple gods, okay,
Yes.
or they believe in spirituality, meaning that they believe more in like the spiritual realm. They believe more in that. There's people who believe in like where we're just in the matrix. Or there's some other people who just believe that we're in the government. Some people think it's aliens. Listen, whatever works for you and it makes you go to bed at night. All right, but I'm going to tell you that what helps me right now is the unexpected messages. That was an unexpected message. That YouTube video was an unexpected message, and it came to me. I didn't seek it out. It found me when I was ready, when I needed it, when my life was on the line. It found me. But I had to be paying attention. I had to be willing to receive the message. And only at my lowest point was I ready to receive any messages, because I was giving up. I was tired of it. I was sick and tired. But then it was just like...
Sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, like that message was amazing. But there's so many people that messages are all around you. All around you. But you have got to open up your mind. You've got to open up your mind. The things that you think, oh, that's nothing, you're doing that to yourself. It was something.
It's limiting.
It was something.
Limiting.
Don't you dare do that to yourself anymore and say that was nothing. That was something. What those times when you saw those angelic numbers and you're like, I'm seeing 111. That's nothing. That was something. That was something that was trying to say, pay attention. Pay attention. It means something. Eventually you'll learn what is being said to you. You got to listen to people too. When people are talking to you, that person in front of you, like this person right here, but it's right beside me, this is not coincidence. This is not important. This is important. People that you talk to, the specific words, it won't be direct. The messages that are coming to you, and it's happening to you so much that you have, like you said earlier, you numbed it out. But the fact is that actually, Spirit has been around you this whole time, watching your every single tiny little maneuver.